Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. We are here live on a Tuesday in what I will brand are treading water until Secret Invasion starts. This is the beginning of that series, basically. I mean, because we would have been doing Visions anyways, so I don't count the Vision stuff. But this really is officially the beginning of us treading water until Secret Invasion starts, because we are here, as the description of the video detailed. We are here to do a roundtable on Fast X, Fast 10. Fast 10 your seatbelt, as my co-host David Dollar coined. It feels like years ago. I don't know for sure if he was the first to coin that, but it feels like he's been saying that for a long time. I can't do this alone, of course, though. I've got Garrison O'Connor here. Garrison, how's it going, man?
It's going great. You know, I started this fast journey in 2020. So feels surreal for this to be almost coming to an end. Hope to God.
Or is it?
But
it could be going forever. I mean, who knows?
We'll talk about that.
And then we will talk about that. And then of course we couldn't do this without Roth in Wyoming. How's it going, buddy?
Good. Yeah, my fast journey started 2021. I watched all those
okay. movies. See, I've been watching them since they came out.
You know, I remember when they came out. I was in elementary school. And it was like I'm trying to figure out how to describe the people that were into these movies in elementary school.
Dude bros?
No, it wasn't like the, I don't know. It was like I guess the car people, the people whose dads were like big time mechanics and were like, oh, the engine on this thing is so sick, bro. It's the people that would drink the NOS energy drinks. They weren't drinking those in elementary school, but they would grow up to drink them in high school.
Right.
It's that type of person. And so I just avoided them. And then finally I was like, I need it. I need it in my life.
I can't tell you that I ever cared or wanted to care about this series. I don't really think I really heard anybody talking that much about it until Fast 5. I think that's when really, like, I saw Fast and Furious playing, The Fast and the Furious playing on TV a couple of times. I didn't really sit through and watch it, but I remember it playing and being like, I don't really care, because I wanted to watch my Saturday morning cartoons or something, but, you know.
Well, I mean, there's that distinct change in how the series was with Fast 5. I mean, like the first 4 were just like car racing type movies, like street racing, drifting.
Well, I mean,
wasn't and heists and stuff. Like
I disagree with that assertion.
Which one do you think started the change?
The first film is a heist film. It's got street racing in it, but it's
yeah, but they're stealing VHS tapes or like VCR players.
No, it turns into basically like Fast 5 almost turns into dumb Mission Impossible, and then as we get along that way, it starts turning into dumb superhero movie, which some would just call superhero movie, but I think it's dumber than some superhero movie. So,
I mean. Yeah, you kind of knew what you were getting yourself into. I mean, it's like the dumb Mission Impossible is basically what it is at this point. I mean, it's Mission Impossible for the everyman, where you don't have to necessarily think too hard about the plot. You don't really care about the characters that much. I mean, sure, you might get invested into them a little bit, but and for most of the series, it sort of had like this tongue-in-cheek aspect to it, at least some of the characters. I think Dom has always been super serious. There's never been like Dom has ever been tongue-in-cheek, but like Tyrese and Ludacris and even Han for a little. I mean, there's always been like some tongue-in-cheek type stuff with those characters more than Dom.
Yeah, these movies are so dumb that I barely like. I realized it because going up to F9, which again, just the stupidest titles, just so ridiculous. But F9, I had watched them all pretty recently because I was trying to get them all in before F9. Like F9 was the reason I was watching them. With this one, I certainly didn't do a rewatch.
No,
I just couldn't bring myself
didn't.
to it. I didn't have time. I didn't
Yeah.
even read Wikipedia pages.
Nope.
And so as this movie was going, I was like,
Oh yeah.
what? Who is this? What is happening? I didn't remember. I barely remembered anything about the Fast Five stuff. That's one that I
Yeah.
may rewatch. Because it
That's a
seemed like
very
it was,
popular
yeah,
one.
yeah.
That's like a lot of people's number one.
I think rewatching Fast 5 through 8 would probably be a pleasurable experience.
I think I
Right.
agree.
I think so too. Yeah, I think that's a good arc, a good story arc. F9 is ridiculous, though. I mean, I would not want to rewatch. I never. In fact, I don't know
I
that I'll
did.
ever rewatch these movies again. But I mean,
I bought the 4K Blu-ray of F9
oh,
in
did you?
21,
Okay.
and I bought it because it had the director's cut, and I've got all the other movies on disc, and so I was like, oh, I'll get this one. And I never watched the director's cut until the other night, and I watched it, and I felt, man, what a pointless director's cut.
No, I mean,
literally, it explicitly created just to sell discs. It's
there's not
7
really
minutes,
anything added,
7 minutes
or
added, and most of it affects the pacing of the film, and almost none of it adds anything really.
Yeah,
Doesn't change anything about the film. Whereas I will argue Fast 5 through 7, the director's cuts for those films actually do add some stuff. 5 includes, I think, language too that they weren't allowed to use in the theatrical version. Yeah.
Yeah, because all these are
but Fast 5 actually has a legitimate director's cut.
all these are PG-13, right? They're not R. Okay.
Yeah, they're all PG.
So they added some language to F9 or F5. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I mean, David is much more of a fan of this franchise than I think I am, and he'll be coming in later as soon as he can, I think. It might not be till 9:30 though, so we're gonna have to.
We've got 30 minutes to burn.
I've got plenty of stuff to talk about before. We haven't.
We've definitely got plenty of stuff. Now, I think some stuff that we should talk about, maybe pre-production that went on with this film. Justin Lin was supposed to direct it, right? Or was it James Wan?
Yeah, so it was supposed to be Justin Lin. He was on set. I think he directed some of the film.
He did. Like, I think he was 3 days in.
Vin put out, man. If I knew you were going to bring this up, I totally would have tried to find that video.
No,
Vin,
we need. Oh yeah, that video. That I do remember. That video.
It's great to be on Fast 10.
Yeah,
Lin looks like a freaking kidnap victim.
I remember that.
I remember that.
Did look like a kidnap
like
victim.
2 weeks later, he quits.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people were saying that it was even shorter than that, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, it was a very short time frame.
Yes, here we go.
That's rude, Rhett.
Rhett, that is aside from me, the number of people in this chat are the number of acting coaches Vin Diesel. That's awesome. Vin does not need an acting coach. He is gifted in many ways. That he was just born that way. He was born to do this. So
let me say, as someone who watched these, so I watched these films in the lead up to Fast 9 too, because Fast 9 was initially supposed to come out in 2020. The best part of this series is Brian O'Connor.
Brian
O'Connor literally matters almost nothing to this movie series, in my opinion.
I agree.
I don't care.
Brian sucked the first 3-4 movies. He was a terrible actor. Maybe not the character, but the acting was just, I couldn't get over.
Forget about it, cuh.
Yes, forget about it, cuh. It was so bad. But eventually, when it started getting more ridiculous,
Fast 5.
I don't know if it just
or better.
His acting got better, or if it was
fit him
just
better.
Hidden. Right? It definitely could have fit him better as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think he became kind of the heart and soul during Fast 5 through
I think
7.
So too.
And then Fast 7 is, to me, the end game of the series, where it's kind of a jumping off point if you want it to be.
I bawled my eyes out in Fast 7.
I wrote a review in my journal at the time, and I don't know where it is, but I said something to the effect of,
a lot of people look, Fast 5 through 8 are those are some good movies. I mean,
yeah. I said, okay, I cried.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's some good movies.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to top this. Paul Walker is going to be a big loss, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I noted, like Endgame, no post-credit scenes for that film, which was kind of a rarity in Fast and the Furious. They had been putting post-credit scenes in the films up to that point.
Well, let's see. I think they had one in Too Fast, Too Furious. They had one in Tokyo Drift because that's when Vin shows up at the very end.
Right.
And then 4.
Okay, maybe I did watch them.
There's I think there's like a reveal of a character being alive at the post-credit. Letty, maybe, or maybe that's
I think Letty, something like that. I can't remember. It's been, like I said, I'm never going to rewatch any of these.
Letty has a fake death in the series at one point.
She does at some point, yeah. And so does Han. I mean, fake deaths are very much.
Well, Han's is so dumb.
It is. It is.
And we get another one from this movie.
Another one from this movie, yes.
See, I can at least watch.
I don't remember how that character died.
That's exactly. Watch
fell out of a plane, right?
Fast and Furious 6. They're on a car in the plane. She lets go of the car, shoots a guy who's trying to attack Han, and then just disappears under the black. We don't actually see a body. That's one that at least I can go, okay, it's a bit ridiculous that she survived that, but okay, we didn't see her die. We saw Han explode. And then they went, actually, Mr. Nobody was involved in that.
Right.
Whatever. The agency might be the worst part of the series, but the agency.
Oh my God. When we get to that.
Yes.
Mrs. Nobody. No, I think it was shaved for this one.
It was shaved for this
because I noticed those things after Isabel.
Look, that was a creative choice for D&D, and I appreciate that.
I didn't even notice it in D&D.
Oh man, how could you not? You thought Isabel Brown's hair or Isabel May's hair in
I didn't watch
1883.
Michael, you just made the mistake I was making during 1883 because I was doing that all the time.
Yeah, Isabel Brown.
Yes,
I did that. Yeah.
And nobody knew who she was at that point. So I couldn't be like, it's this famous person because she wasn't famous then.
There's only a few people who might know who Buckwheat is, but that is hilarious. Rhett showing his age with the Buckwheat reference. But yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, Han exploding. That was to even.
It was so dumb.
Yeah, really.
It was one of the dumbest reveals. Gisli, whatever her name is, being back. Whatever. It's a party. Let's bring them all back.
Gisli.
What is Giselle? Whatever.
Giselle?
I don't remember what.
Gisli?
I don't care, dude. It's the Fast and the Furious. Who cares? I haven't seen those movies since 2020.
Yeah, I mean,
Gisli.
Whatever.
It is what it is. You said it.
Look, I at this point, let's get into Fast X.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to wait a little bit. Okay. Let's do this before. Maybe give Dave a little bit more time. I mean, I'm not gonna say let's rank them because there's too many.
Okay.
I mean,
I have my rankings on.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I can come up with the ranking.
Okay. Oh, right on, Matt. I know Matt is a Fast and Furious fan. So
I will mention, I think my rankings have a bit of a problem because F9 is probably too high, but it was the first one that I saw in the theater.
F9 is too high then, yeah. I mean, so I understand since you saw it in the theater, yeah.
Like there's some definite.
It was also my first one I saw in the theater, and I sat there the entire time going, "Oh God, this isn't as good."
Yes, but I think the difference is there. You had a year because it got delayed, and I was like, I think I had like just watched Fate of the Furious, and was like, "Here we go, let's go, we're ready." We're gonna go. Let's see, June 24th. I watched that.
Yeah, that's what Rhett's saying. You could do a top 10 ranking and not even include the new one. I mean,
so I watched Fate of the Furious 3 days before I went to see F9. So like it was. I was fully caught up into it.
Matt, why did I think you were a big Fast and the Furious fan? I thought I saw him talking about that in the Deucecast, but maybe not. I don't know. You're missing out, Matt. They get really good after Too Fast, Too Furious. Well, I don't even remember what happened
after Too Fast, Too Furious. Well,
look. Here's what's funny. There are some people that love Tokyo Drift, like love it, and I don't
so bad.
I don't understand.
Not good.
I don't understand. how you can like Tokyo Drift.
It's not
Like from start to end.
It's the only one that doesn't have a heist element in the film too, which like that's the thing that pulls me into those films. Like, okay, let's steal a thing.
Let's steal something. Yeah, exactly. Let's do something stupid with a car to steal something.
Yeah.
Okay, Garrison, go ahead and do your rankings then if you've got them.
I'm still putting them.
Oh, you're still putting them together. So Roth, you already have yours. So
I've
your
got
rankings.
mine.
Yeah.
I've got mine. So you want me to start from the bottom?
Yeah, bottom up. Yeah.
Number 11, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Oh, so you're doing all 11.
Yes.
Okay, that's
number 10. Unless, well, I'm already at.
That's fine.
10.
That's fine. Do it.
I can leave out where I have this
okay.
newest one.
That's okay. We're not going to re-rank. We're just trying to stall for David, really.
All right. Number 10 is The Fast and Furious and the Furious. So the first one. Number 9 is actually Fast X.
That low?
That low.
Really?
It has the possibility to come up more.
You're kind of like David is with this movie. He talked about that a little bit on Reflections, which is releasing tomorrow. We don't do any spoilers or anything on Reflections, but he did not like it, and I don't understand why. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was like relative to some of the other Fast movies. I thought it was good.
See, it just
I'm not comparing it to a Mission Impossible film.
Yeah,
but
there were just so many elements in this where the stupidity was one, turned way up, and two, the script and the pacing and the story and just how it all went together, the editing, it just all felt like it all took a step back. And in the past, like editing hasn't really been that big of an issue in these. Like they all like tend to stay pretty fast paced, more or less, and like keep your attention. But this one, it just felt so disjointed. I just couldn't get over it, and it was just so much stupider than the others.
See, here's the
not
thing.
stupider than F9.
I think you need to rewatch F9.
Yeah, F9.
That's what I'm saying. I do think I need to rewatch F9. I may rewatch all of them.
In my opinion, a marked improvement from that film.
I mean, F9 is like the Morbius, or not Morbius. But
No. Let's not go that far.
It's pretty bad though.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, that's okay. I kind of interrupted myself too. Number 8 was Too Fast, Too Furious, based solely on Cole Hauser's performance. He was really good in that, and he was a really good villain.
He's not bad. He's not bad in that.
Number 7, I have Fast and Furious, which is that number 3? Is Fast and Furious number 3 from 2009? I think so.
Yes, they just call it Fast and Furious.
Yes. Take out the these.
Yeah. Yes.
Number 6, I have Fast and Furious 6. Number 5 was Fast 5. Number 4 for me was F9. Number 3, Furious 7. Number 2, The Fate of the Furious. And number 1, Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw's your number 1?
Oh, for sure, by far.
The Rock would love to hear that.
I think that was the most competently made movie of all of them, by far.
Who directed that movie? Was that David Leitch?
Yes, it was.
That's a lucky director. That's a lucky get on that director for that movie. I actually don't know how he agreed to do that movie, but okay, that's fair. Okay, Garrison, what's yours?
I'm gonna say
I'm in Wyoming where it's still daylight.
I'm gonna say something controversial here, and that is in a second. Number 11, Tokyo Drift, which that's not controversial. Number 10 for me is Hobbs and Shaw.
Wow.
I sat through that. I don't know what it was. I loved Hobbs and Shaw in Fate of the Furious. I think they're a great duo. They're doing their own kind of thing in that film, away from Vin Diesel, which is kind of I think we know why.
Right. But
I was watching Fate of the Furious. I remember in 2020 and being like, these guys are kind of replacing Paul Walker for me and kind of the heart of the franchise at this point. And then I was like, I'm so excited for Hobbs and Shaw. And I think I just got myself so hyped up for Hobbs and Shaw that I then watched it and went, okay, I mean, I'd watch the sequel, but I just didn't have, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the Ryan Reynolds effect. I feel like I'm not as big on his films as others are, but he shows up in that film for like 5 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Number 9 is F9. On rewatch, I rated it lower than I have before. You know what? Actually, put F9 below Hobbs and Shaw. I'm gonna
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, Hobbs and Shaw at 9, F9 at 10.
Yeah.
Number 8, Too Fast, Too Furious. Look, yeah, Brian, not the best actor, but that's just a fun movie. It's so dumb. It's so fun. Ejecto Seat Cuz is an iconic gif at this point. Number 7, Fast and Furious. I was not in love with that film, and I'll tell you, I had a great moment with that. The end of that film. So they're going to like, I think on the transport bus. There's like a transport bus they're trying to break someone out of at the end of the film, and it cuts to black, and then it opens back up on Fast 5 with them breaking the person out of that bus. And the end of that film is just kind of like, okay, they're going to break somebody out. The beginning of Fast 5 is where you notice that change into the just bat crap, where nothing matters, and physics doesn't matter anymore. Don't think about that. Just have fun with this dumb car movie. And that's like when I totally checked into the series. And we'll get to that in a second. Number 6 to me is Fast X. It's not top 5, but it felt like a return to fun. I just want fun.
Yes.
And I don't want a movie where Tyrese is telling me that nothing happens to us and we're not getting scratches on our body. Shut up, dude. I don't want to be thinking about this during the film. like there's turning your brain off, quote unquote, which I can't really do, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's actively pointing out the issues with the film to me, and that drags the film down a bit. Number 5 is Fate of the Furious, which I really enjoy. Number 4 is Fast and Furious 6. Number 3 is The Fast and the Furious. You
gotta honor that film. It's the first. I
actually thought the film was a lot better than
it's the first.
I thought it was going to be when I watched it. It's a cute film. Number 2 is Fast 5, and number 1 is Furious 7. That's just that to me is the best film in the franchise.
It's a great movie.
And
yeah, I know. I saw he said defending Bill Cosby. Yeah. Okay, so let me do mine real quick. I mean, mine is I think kind of similar to yours, Garrison, but I did number 11, Fast 9, The Fast Saga, which that's the official title, or F9. I'm sorry, The Fast
F9,
Saga.
The Fast Saga: The Fast Saga.
The Fast Saga. Why do you name a movie that?
They're just so bad at naming movies. It's insane.
I don't understand.
I kind of like
sometimes they're going for puns.
I kind of like that there's no uniform style to the names.
There's not. Like they don't even try to have any uniformity to any of it.
The only thing that bothers me is Fate of the Furious. It's like, why was it not F8 of the Furious?
Right. Yeah.
But I actually like Fate of the Furious because you're like fate.
You're trying.
Like
you're trying. Yeah.
We know,
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, my number 11 is definitely F9, The Fast Saga. Number 10, I would say, is probably Fast and Furious from 2009. I
was kind of low on that film too. Yeah.
I don't like that movie that much.
It's weak, but then you hit Fast 5 and you're boom. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so then that would be number 9. I would probably throw in, even though I like, Tokyo Drift. I'll probably put Tokyo. Let's put Tokyo Drift in number 9. Number 8. Which one do it? Too Fast, Too Furious. I got to do that. Number 7. I don't want to put it too high, just because it's not really part of the saga in my opinion, so I'll put Hobbs and Shaw there. It's just it's good, but it's just not part of. I don't know. It's just not part of it. Number 6,
the Fast Saga. Yeah.
Number 6, The Fast and the Furious, the original. I'll honor it there. So number 5, and these can be somewhat interchangeable, but I'd do Fast 5. I'd do Furious 6 as number 4, probably. The Fate of the Furious at number 3. Wait, no, I don't want to put Fast X that high. I'll put Fast X at 4, then Fate at 3, and then Fury 7. Or I don't know. I got mixed up somewhere. Fury 6 at number 2, and Fury 7 number 1. So there. I think I messed that up.
Fast 5? Was that below Fast 10?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Fast 10's really high for me right now because it brought back what I loved about the series,
Same.
which is ridiculousness.
Yes.
And even though like and David
not in a bad way. Yeah.
And I know David's not here to defend himself, and I maybe should wait to let him defend himself a little bit, but he doesn't like that Vin Diesel is taking it so serious, but Vin Diesel has to take it serious. That is like his MO.
The thing I like way better about this film is
I don't think he has a sense of humor. I don't think he can do.
We don't have a bunch of flashbacks to his childhood.
Right.
To try to justify why Jacob is his brother.
Right.
and also Jacob, his flashback actor got way more screen time. It felt like the dang John Cena last film.
Yeah. John Cena was barely and John Cena did not get to be John Cena in F9. I mean,
he actually got to do some fun stuff in
he
Fast
got
10.
to he was way better in Fast 10 than he was in F9. I mean, it's just I don't know. So okay, we've given David long enough. I gave him like a long time, so we got to dive into this thing. I guess let's start with I don't want to go chronologically and talk about the movie in that way, but let's talk about like some of the favorite things. Well, let's talk about dislikes first, and then we'll do favorite things. So, Garrison, what are some of the things that you did not like about the movie, and where they're taking the series?
Okay, so I guess my biggest gripe with the storyline at this point in the saga is the Fast Saga, as we all call it.
Fast Saga.
When we're talking about it, we just call it.
Isn't it now officially the series that has the same characters, like the longest running series with the same actor playing the same character?
I don't know.
I think that they have. They can tout that. I think they can tout that.
I don't care.
I mean, what else would come close besides like Harry Potter?
I mean, Harry Potter would come close. How long did Chris Evans play Captain America? How long did Tony Stark play? I mean, so
I guess Marvel,
you could argue that maybe if we looked at the numbers, but I think
Marvel started in 2008 though. That's the
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but how many?
Gotta be it. And like, how many movies was Captain America in total?
Exactly. You'd have to do the math on that. But Vin, I thought I saw Vin touting that he's he's like, yeah, James Bond might be the longest character in movie history, but I'm the actor that's played the same character. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I mean,
did you guys see any of the interviews from Rome from like the opening night?
I didn't watch any of those because he basically is just like thinks he's God level. So I did not.
I mean, every single person was just coked out of their mind, allegedly.
I loved.
It was crazy.
I loved the interview where he basically revealed it was a 3-parter, but my understanding is that ain't official with the studio.
Yeah, Universal doesn't. But
Bellany from Puck said that the studio's not greenlit a 3-part finale, and that they want to do a 2-part finale. Is his understanding, and that to me screams.
That makes sense.
That to me screams Vin's trying to put public pressure on Universal to do the 3-part finale.
He's trying. Yeah, I think
he did that interview. He was just like, every story's got 3 acts, and we want to.
I mean, look, it's doing really well internationally. So,
yeah,
I mean,
I am here for Fast 12.
Oh, for sure. I want. Yeah. I'm here for the spin-offs too.
If The Rock is back, I'm here, baby.
Mm-hmm. I think that he's back for Hobbs and Shaw 2. I don't think he's going to be in F11.
I think he's back for 11.
I do too. No, not 11. Fast X Part 2.
Well, no, I don't know what they're going to call it.
For the next mainline film.
Fast X Part 2.
Sorry, you don't tease Dante going against him unless he's.
But I thought that they were doing that to set up Hobbs and Shaw 2, and Dante's going to be the villain in Hobbs and Shaw 2.
2's got a completely different writer too, so I don't think they're going to. I don't.
Does that really matter?
It does. Really... It's the writer of 5 through 8 or whatever.
Well, does this movie have writers?
I know. It's AI at this point. Okay, sorry. What we were talking about, stuff we didn't like.
Stuff we didn't like. You want to know what my biggest gripe right now with this? Just the continuity right now.
Oh,
and I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I feel like I've told Mikey this a little bit.
Okay.
But it's the whole Brian situation.
I know.
Okay, so
It is weird.
Brian's retired. I'm fine with that. Like I get
Right.
respecting the actor. He's got a
away.
kid.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like his wife can show up on missions in F9. Okay,
Right.
F9.
Right.
Let me F9. The excuse is Jacob's there. That's her brother that we never knew about for years.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So that's her brother. She's a little bit more involved than she wants to be. She's there. Okay, boom, gone. F10. She's taking care of the kid for a little bit, Dom's kid for a little bit, and then she gets sucked into this, and she's going on the missions again. Meanwhile, Brian's not getting involved at all.
Right?
Are you kidding me?
Like their family is being it's hard to.
Her family's being attacked.
Right. And she is being attacked.
And doesn't she?
And Brian was a part of F5.
Yeah.
He was a part of that thing that knocked Dante off the bridge.
Yeah.
Why would Dante not be going after Brian so hardcore?
Exactly. He should be going after Brian.
I get it. They don't want to resurrect a dead actor. And I respect that.
They should have not even mentioned the character.
Way better excuse than what you're putting on the screen.
Oh, they shouldn't even mention. They should have actually. I hate to say this, but they should have probably killed the character off too.
They probably should have said, "Hey, this guy died. Here's a funeral." Boom.
Yeah, I mean that probably would have, because now they're having to.
My son Brian after.
They're having to write around it. They're having to write around it.
What they should do is just be like, Brian and Jordana Brewster are off colonizing Mars.
They used the Pontiac.
That's a very
and got into space.
That's absolutely the thing. They want to give Jordana Brewster, whatever her name is, a paycheck. That's what they want to do.
Well, it's because she wouldn't be doing anything else. She wouldn't have a career if it wasn't.
Yeah,
she'd be on.
I thought here's another thing. Like sometimes I can excuse physics and all this other stuff. When I see Jordana Brewster taking down a bunch of special agents, I'm like, what the heck is the movie doing?
That's only something that Brie Larson can do.
Yeah, well, I see when Brie Larson did it, I was like, whatever. That's
Yeah, when Brie Larson barely gets shot in the shoulder and is like about to die. That was my least favorite part. It was so effing stupid.
Her character was horrible, by the way. I mean, I did not like her character.
Like the shot in the shoulder, and for that to like completely upend everything and have Jason Momoa completely succeed is completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sounds
like we didn't like this
shot
movie,
right here.
But I liked this
shot
movie.
Right here.
I just
like,
don't.
Nowhere
I'm
close.
Fine with that. I like that scene because I played Swan Lake. That was nice.
Oh well, yeah. This movie, this franchise is almost as bad as Star Wars as far as like every character is connected somehow to someone. Like Mr. Nobody's daughter.
Worse than Star Wars.
Yeah,
way worse.
I don't know. Star Wars has gotten that way though, where everybody's connected to everybody. But I mean, having her be Mr. Nobody's daughter just because Kurt Russell didn't want to come back, maybe.
The agency is the worst part of these films.
The agency,
so.
Yes.
Alan Richardson's.
He was good.
No,
he was good, dude.
No,
don't you dare. He was good. I liked him.
Practically had blackface on with that spray tan.
Oh, it was a bad spray tan. Especially the flashback scene.
I actually like the twist in the film, and here's why.
Okay.
Because they're on the bridge, and all of a sudden he just switches to Vin Diesel's side. And in my head, I'm going, what? That was really fast. And then I was just like, you know what? These movies are dumb. I'm just going to accept that. And you know what? He's a family now. He's family. And then he does the rocket launcher thing. And I was like, okay, you know what? You kind of got me.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting an actual twist.
Yeah.
In the film. It wasn't amazing writing. I just was like, oh, wow.
I liked that ending twist. I thought that was, I'm not going to say good, but that was a thing that happened that I wasn't upset about.
Good. It's okay.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't know if I physically
There's one issue with it. We can talk about it in a second.
The stuff with him and Brie Larson was some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. Were they in the same room?
I still don't know why Brie did this movie.
Hated the fact that, I mean, a lot of their dialogue was exposition.
Oh, the whole movie is full of that. This one was a repeat offender when it comes to explaining everything to the audience a lot.
You're explaining everything to the audience except for the God's Eye. Like, okay, yes, I know
Right.
what the God's Eye is.
Yeah, that's been
but
around.
That is involved. It's been around since 7.
Yeah.
That is involved in the plot so heavily here and in 9, and they don't even repeat what this thing does. And I'm like, I don't even know if I remember what this thing does.
I didn't even know Melisandre, which is her Game of Thrones character name, because I can't remember the actress's name or her character's name. I didn't even realize she
Natalie
made it
Emanuel?
until the very end. Yes, Natalie
She
Emanuel.
made it in 7, I think.
Yeah, I had no
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
until the very end of this movie when she's like, "I just feel bad because I made it." I'm
Yeah,
like,
but
oh,
like,
okay.
what?
Oh, it's Rhett and his Cinemax movies.
Did Rhett see this film?
No. He says it looks better than this movie. He probably watched the.
No, I
preview.
mean, did Rhett see Fast 10?
Oh no, he doesn't see the Fast movies. That's why I
didn't either.
don't allow people to have opinions about movies they don't see. I don't allow
Totally.
that.
Agreed.
That's unallowed.
Lockstep on that one.
Yeah,
me too.
we cannot allow for that.
There's a
to
lot
happen.
of stupid Flash discourse right now. It's kind of annoying me.
About like it's the best superhero movie ever made.
But the people the people who are going, oh well, you think it's so great. Well, I think it looks terrible, and it's like you haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it. How can you say that? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
or even people who are like, it looks great. This thing's going to be a masterpiece if they haven't seen it. Yeah, I get so annoyed by those groups, the tribalism before you've seen a film.
Yeah, that's a standard thing that happens now in the internet YouTube clickbait age. I mean, and here we are on YouTube. Not that we're getting any views whatsoever, but
we have literal 0 right now. It says so. Yeah.
Well, I don't know why it says that. I think Rhett's still probably around. I don't know why it says 0. But anyways, yeah. I mean, I think they could have done without the whole subplot of Nobody's Daughter. Like I don't know what her character, like, because you could have used Alan Rikens, or however you say his last name, Richens or whatever. You could have used him kind of in that same role in a way, because he was the agency.
She literally stole the God's Eye from the agency,
right?
And so if that character isn't there, the God's Eye is never stolen from the agency, and Alan's on his side already.
Here's what you could have done. You could have had Letty break out with it, and then she gets to Dom, and then boom, it gets stolen from her by Dante instead on that bridge. I mean, there's ways to ride around that, but
yeah, but then we never get Gal Gadot.
That's true.
That's true. And we need that.
And that nuclear submarine coming out of Antarctica was very important.
You've just argued how important Brie Larson was to this film. Yeah.
That's true. Maybe you're right.
No, but I'm saying we could have just skipped the whole heist of the God Eye thing entirely.
Yeah. Like Letty could have figured out a way to escape.
A new MacGuffin in this film that wasn't the God's Eye, because it's been like 4 films now.
I can respect that they're sticking with that storyline.
The God's Eye wasn't even a MacGuffin though, because they never mentioned it. They weren't even talking about how Momoa was like after it, were they?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? It just seemed like it just kind of happened. He's like, oh, that's why he wanted Brie Larson there, and boom, he stole it. Like,
he didn't really.
It just came out of the blue.
Well, because it did feel like he was just in it for revenge, but then also, hey, I might as well take this God's Eye also.
It would be like Mission Impossible 4, 5, 6, 7 using the rabbit's foot after 3.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. I mean, the God's Eye is pretty powerful. It's almost like
it's a whatever you want it trilogy. To be thing. Yeah,
it's almost like it's the Dark Knight trilogy thing. I mean, it's
the Dark Knight specifically.
Yeah, the Dark Knight specifically. It's kind of like that, but it seems like maybe it can do more.
Well, it's not reliant on like the makers of this movie and the makers of the creators, the writers of the Fast and Furious movies were not concerned about backing the God's Eye up with science like Christopher Nolan kind of was. Yeah. So
David said he can't make it tonight. Dang it.
No.
Oh, he loves these freaking
this roundtable.
He likes this would have been the one roundtable that he could have really like had some. I don't know why he can't. That's odd.
All right,
that he can't
let's
make it
gang
tonight.
up on Jacob for not.
All right, bring it on. I remember very little, so I'm fighting with no knowledge.
Okay, so the Charlize Theron kind of turning. Well, she didn't turn good, but she certainly helped
Yeah,
Letty.
I kind of liked. I want to
I
see where
like
that's
her
going.
character arc. Yeah, I like the way
Yeah.
that character arc's going.
I want to see where that's going. I just wish we didn't get the stupid fight scene between the two that was meaningless.
I kind of
No, it was so stupid. There was no reason for it whatsoever.
Was dumb. There was no reason, and I still kind
it
of
doesn't make sense with the rules that they laid out. They said you have 4 minutes. That was way longer than 4 minutes.
And I think it was directed by them when Lynn was not on set, and when
Rhett makes a good
Louis
point here.
Was not on set either.
He makes a good point. Apropos of nothing, remember how much cooler Death Star 2 looked than the first one. He's just talking about how like using the same MacGuffin basically or the same.
Oh, then we get to Starkiller Base, and that's the coolest of them all.
Sorry, what? And I have to. What?
What? What was a pretty good fight? I don't know. I don't think he saw the movie, so he's not talking about anything in Fast X. But
but we don't even have God's Eye 2. It's just the same thing.
It's the same God's Eye. Yeah, it's the same.
I wish they'd destroy the God's Eye. Please. Please.
Well, it's gonna be. It's still gonna be the thing, though. It's still gonna be back for the next one. I mean, it seems like that's what they're really gonna go for. But I don't know. I mean, because how else do you end the trilogy?
Can I talk about a thing I really like?
Yeah. Please. At this point, go ahead. Now that I found out David can't even make it, go ahead. We can do whatever.
And Jacob may not like this, but I loved the bomb chase in Rome going to the Vatican.
No, the bomb chase was good. Like
and him using the crane.
Yes.
Bumping into the water. That's Fast and Furious.
Yes. That was fantastic. The beginning of the movie was like where I felt the most just disjointedness out of all of it. Like it was just all so bizarre. And like, why was Rita Moreno in this? What was the purpose of that?
Oh, the family. I'm okay with Rita Moreno. She's family. She's the great grandmother.
Okay, that was so bad and so nonsensical and so disjointed.
Okay, the one thing I don't love about the beginning is when he's in his garage and he looks at a picture of Brian and it's like do.
Oh, they do the sound, the music cue. Yeah.
Guys,
it was a little on the nose, but it's fine. It's like when you hear
driving around an RC car
or something, or Leia's theme,
and no.
When I see you again.
When was Roman driving the RC car around?
I think
yes.
So
he was driving that thing around. Yeah. And who was it? Was it Han and Dom were talking in the garage?
Yeah.
And then he just runs it into the shovels on purpose.
Like, oh, my bad. You guys
guys. You guys have a meeting.
That scene did not work for me. No.
It was so dumb.
He's just the comic relief. They're trying to make Roman the comic relief. Totally. I mean, in more movies than any of the other ones. He was just like so dumb, like, and they gave him like the leadership of that one mission, and he blew it. And I mean, he was.
Yeah, if anyone's a leader, Tej should be a leader. Roman should not be a leader of a mission.
Right.
That was.
Well, I mean, here's the deal with this, and this is a good comment because this is accurate for the most part for the Fast movies. But F9 was trying to be so much different than the other movies because all the humor, besides the characters that are generally humorous, there was no tongue-in-cheek stuff in F9.
It was the most. Well, there's tongue-in-cheek, but again, it's that one Tyrese thing where he keeps saying, "Oh, we have Tyrese. Superpowers or something."
Superpowers, yeah.
Shut up, dude.
Yeah.
No. What was I gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Knowing what they are.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't remember.
I think maybe that is my biggest problem with this is all of the Roman, Nathalie Emmanuel stuff and Tej. Like it just didn't work whatsoever for me in this movie. Like it was all just so dumb and just didn't make any sense. And like the other stuff, like the Dom stuff was like much better. I like Brie Larson's storyline better than this one, and Brie Larson's storyline stunk.
Yeah, I know what I was gonna say now. In 9 specifically, Vin Diesel was taking himself way too seriously.
But I've got to push back on that a little bit because he always has throughout the series.
Not as bad as 9 was for me.
I mean, because even in this one, you know that everything that's going to come out of his mouth is very serious. There won't be any like.
But I don't know, the way it was written around,
character.
the way it was written around with all the flashbacks, it just did not work for me in terms of.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't like any of that flashback stuff.
And-
Like here's my brother, here's our rough childhood. I mean, no, I didn't need any of that. I mean,
well, I'm just saying his seriousness didn't meld with all that the rest of the film to me as it does with the other film. I think the comedic relief just wasn't done well in 9, and I think it's done better in 10. Not perfect.
I can't believe that.
Yes.
In real life, though, Vin doesn't understand why people like these movies, and it's not because of how serious he thinks they are. I think in real life, he has to know that people like them because they know, like what Rhett here, they know exactly what they are going in, and they're not trying to be something that they aren't. F9 failed at that. I think F10 succeeded and went back to kind of like the way that the series works. It knows what it is. It's not going to be. It's not trying to be Mission Impossible or a James Bond movie. It's trying to be a Fast and Furious
movie.
It's all about the family. It's all about the family. There was one thing that happened in the film, and I can't remember what it was that he had in his hand, but I was wanting him to choke up on whatever he was holding like it was a Corona, but it was something else that he was holding in his hand towards the end of the movie that wasn't a Corona. That, you know how he holds the Corona and he chokes up on it, he drinks it like this. I can't remember what it was, but I was like, man, I'm surprised he didn't choke up. Like, that would have been a funny moment if he was holding, it might have been, I can't remember. I should have written it down at the time when I saw it because I'm only going to see this movie once. So I can't remember exactly what it was. But like, dude, that would have been really funny if he had choked up on whatever that was while he was holding it.
So we get a major impactful death in this film, which kind of surprised me in Jacob having a sacrifice play.
I think he wanted out of the franchise.
That would not surprise me. I was kind of like, you know, the weird thing about that death is with all the deaths we had so far in revivals we've had so far in the series, that still kind of that scene kind of got to me a little bit. I was like, oh wow.
Well, because he had been so much better in this movie
already. I think we were like, oh, we were hitting the peak with you.
Yeah, man. We were hitting the peak. The peak with Cena,
and I think the other big thing is the kid was there, and the kid had made that connection. I think John Cena's probably the best actor in these movies.
He's gotten better too over the years.
He has got. Well, no. I think Momoa was the best. In this
you're right.
Momoa.
You're right.
We got to talk about Dante.
Every single scene he was
Jason
in.
Statham is very good as well.
Oh yeah, and I love Jason Statham. And he wasn't in this enough.
Statham
I wanted him
came into this film too late.
Yes.
I wanted
way
him
too late.
Yeah, I wanted him in this way more than he was. But
by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but that was the F9 credit scene that they started his scene on.
Oh yeah, because he had the guy in the bag. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
same guy. Yeah. And then he opens the door and it's
was it the Hobbs and Shaw credit scene or the F9?
No, it was F9. I just watched it.
Okay, yeah.
And Han is at the door and he says the same line. The thing to me is I need to rewatch it because I watched F9 first and then Fast X, but I think Han still has the short hair in the post credits scene in F9. And then in F10 I notice he tucks his hair back behind his ears and then answers the door.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you would hope that they would pay attention to things like that since they paid so much attention. Because I listened to an interview with Louis Leterre, and they said they paid a lot of attention for continuity purposes of what was happening in F5, so they could film that the way they did at the beginning of.
They actually did a really good job.
They did a very good job.
And I'm glad they gave us so much of what they gave us because I didn't remember it, and I think they know that like that movie was a long time ago.
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
All right, yeah, I just confirmed.
I think they did a good job with that.
Han definitely has shorter hair.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah,
but it's whatever.
I mean,
it's whatever.
Pete Davidson, dude, that scene made me mad because I'm getting a little tired of Pete Davidson. Like of seeing him in everything. I'm getting a little bit like I'm
tired. Was whatever. I was like,
I just he's not good. Like
That was one
He
fight.
frustrates me because I'll see him in something and I'm like, oh, he's actually kind of good in that. Like, I liked him in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. I liked him King of Staten Island. But he started to show up in these little cameos every once in a while that it's too much overkill. It's way overkill.
My problem with that scene, Pete Davidson was whatever. It was a dumb cameo.
It was a dumb cameo. Yeah.
That was another scene where Roman was like literally a 2 IQ. They're like, hey, we need like 80 cars and a tank. And he's like, here's $100. What? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, that was yeah, you're right.
No, he wasn't being stingy. He was being an idiot.
No, he was being really dumb. Wait. I have to say he is normally really dumb, but that may have been dumber than he normally is.
It's so dumb that like a 2-year-old wouldn't try to do that. Like, there's nobody on this planet Earth that would think that you can buy 80 cars for $100.
Yeah.
And so it just doesn't work for me.
His dumb level went to new levels of dumb in this movie. I mean, he's been a dumb character.
He is normally dumb.
He is normally dumb, but it did seem like
he's normally dumb, but he's a normal level of dumb. He's not a like vegetable with literally using like 0.5% of his brain.
You know, I hear in Canada he can apply for something, you know, if he's anyway.
Wow. Going for that Canada jokes.
It's not just that he's dumb, he's also like aloof and like he doesn't like
there's no gravity to anything that's happening to him.
Anything that's happening around him. He never understands the seriousness of the situation. And like I don't know if he was like that in the other movies, but he was certainly like that in this one.
So refresh my memory.
He does normally notice the seriousness.
He usually does. Now, Natalie Emanuel's character, I can't remember her character's name.
The girl who hacks and drove for the first time in F9.
Ramsey.
I'm not.
Ramsey.
Why is that an option?
Stupid. I know. Why is that an option? Stupid character name, by the way. Was she someone's love interest at some point?
Yes.
Was she like? I thought she and Ludacris or.
Well, I think
there was definitely something.
Kind of a.
I want to say that there was that through line.
No, you're right.
For a couple movies, maybe, and then all of a sudden it wasn't even there. This movie.
It's not in F9. I'll say that.
Is it not in F9? Okay, I thought for sure that she was like smitten with one of those guys, or
the other way around.
Or maybe they were smitten with her.
Some of that with Tej in this film.
Tej, yeah, it seemed like her and Tej had something going on, but you're right, Rhett. She is that. But her character blamed something on herself. This movie, what was
God's
her like?
She made God's Eye.
She made it, yeah. Which, I mean, come on. I don't know about that. But
a woman couldn't do that.
She couldn't really do that. I mean,
and why is that? Why couldn't she do that?
I don't know. That just I don't like that they reminded us of that in this movie. I had like totally forgotten that, and I was upset that
that's why God's Eye doesn't need to be in this movie. I just come up with
Red,
something
if that's
else.
true, I'm the exact person she's looking for.
Wow, I can't even put that up.
It's just a Game of Thrones joke.
It is a Game of Thrones joke. You're right. It is very much a Game of Thrones. There was a lot of that in Game of Thrones.
Scott Eastwood was in this movie. Remember that?
Randomly, yeah. Was he?
That's the beginning of the film, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so
credit is little nobody.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, he's in the beginning of this film, and then we cut to Alan Richson, and I was like, that's not the same character. And I was like, okay, it's not the same
Scott
character.
Eastwood was in the last one too, wasn't he?
He probably was.
I think he was.
And then he just doesn't show back up, and I was like, what? What happened to his character?
He was like Mr. Nobody's right-hand man in F9, I thought. No?
And Fate of the Furious.
Fate.
Yeah,
okay, so
Fate
he's okay.
Makes way more sense because Mr. Nobody's missing in F9.
F9 he's missing. So
and he's still missing in F9.
Still missing because they can't get Kurt to come back. So he's still missing apparently.
Do you think that's why he's missing?
I mean, what's the other explanation of why?
Maybe they're saving him for the finale. They've got it all mapped out. It's a roadmap.
Uh-oh. We've got a run-in. He made it.
What? What?
Yes.
Yo,
David. Okay, he's
Yeah.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. I was
I need
afraid
some backup,
you
David.
texted me and said you weren't going to be able to make it.
Well, I didn't think I was going to be able to, and I didn't
We were
realize you guys would still be rambling.
look, we stalled so much at the beginning. We barely have gotten into it. No, we've been at about 30 minutes into it, but for the first 30 minutes we tap danced a lot.
We haven't gotten to the ending yet, so I
no,
mean,
we haven't, and we really haven't talked about Dante too much. I mean, other than
which
he was the best part of the
film.
movie. So,
Fun
Dave,
times. Yeah.
do you have quickly, not quickly, but do you have a top 11 ranking? Could you do a ranking of the 11 films? No, I'm just kidding. No. Let's just talk about Fast X then. No, because that's what we were doing that to stall a little bit. We talked about the first 10 films, and that includes Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah, that includes Hobbs and Shaw. So we did an 11 ranking.
Number 1 would be Fast 5. Number 2 would be Fast 6. Number 3 would be Hobbs and Shaw. Number 4 would be the first one. Number 5 would be the second one. Number 6 would be Fast 7. Number 8 would probably be Fast 4. Number 9 would be Fast 8. Then F9. Then we're actually Tokyo Drift is going to be at the bottom. I'm probably going to put 9 and 10. Back and forth.
Dude, you're like
I'm with you at 10. I did not. This movie was
wrong with you guys.
It was too dumb.
No,
it wasn't. To me, it wasn't that it was too dumb. It was trying to be something that it was not. And
no. That's F9 that was trying to be something.
And this whole well, what do you expect from a Fast and Furious movie? We're not watching Megalodon versus Sharkzilla from Asylum Films. We're not watching two guys film a movie in their backyard with their iPhone 4s. Like, we're watching a $250 million film being made. Vin Diesel was
340.
Even worse. Vin Diesel took this movie so seriously.
But
he was trying to be something this movie was not.
That's not a good excuse because he does that in all of them.
He tried, for the first time, I think he tried to emote. It did not work. It was terrible.
No, that was F9.
That was F9. He cannot emote.
He's continuing that trend.
What's worse about this one than F9 is the F9, he tried to do a lot of that stuff, and we saw that it didn't work.
Yeah.
So rather than going back to what worked, they were like, let's do more of it. No.
Well, they counterbalanced.
Brie Larson was awful. Brie Larson was horrifically bad. She's an Oscar-winning actress, and she is terrible. Scott Eastwood was not good.
Well, he was in it for 5 seconds.
When the best part of the movie is really the antics, besides Momoa, the best part of the movie is the antics between Ludacris and Tyrese.
Oh, well,
wow. So we hate it for different reasons.
We hate it for you guys.
That was my least favorite part.
Everything else worked way better. I didn't hate this movie. I was just really disappointed with this film. I wanted to be entertained. I was.
Well, that was how I felt coming out of F9, but this to me brought it back closer to.
No, not anywhere close for me. I feel like everything they should have learned at F9. This is like you made The Last Jedi. You should have learned better from The Last Jedi. So what do? You give me Rise of Skywalker. I mean, it just pooped the bed.
Rise of Skywalker and Fast X is an apt comparison in a way that it's just a lot of dumb fun in a hot mess of a film. Yeah.
But it's not fun. I didn't have a lot of fun.
I had fun. I
had a lot of fun.
How could you not have fun with the John Cena stuff with Dante?
I had fun at the parts that I wasn't supposed to be having fun with.
I really hate to say this, but at the end of the film, and I knew the film was going to end abruptly because I read that like 2 months ago. From a guy I trust pretty well. At the end of the film, I hated myself because I want to see what happens next, and I was really excited about that ending.
You know what happens next. There's no way they kill Dom.
But I'm still like, oh my god, Dom!
They also didn't kill Ludacris and blah blah blah. I mean, honestly, Emmanuel.
There should have been some suspense on that. The way you should have done that one is having the plane crash, then gets to the plane. Maybe Tyrese comes stumbling out. Everybody else is inside, and you're not sure. Maybe one of them will die. We don't know. And you end it that way, and obviously the dam's breaking. So how do we get everybody out of that? I don't know. But you don't end it with, is Dom and his kid going to die? No, they're not going to die. That was the worst cliffhanger ever. That was a terrible cliffhanger.
But it still got me.
I still liked it. Yeah.
People in the audience were laughing at the emoting, and we're laughing at the serious parts. I feel like the only person having any fun in this movie was Momoa and John Cena. John Cena was having a ball. He was like, paycheck, baby.
Because he knew he was going to die. He knew his character was dead after this one, so he's like, yes.
Actually got to have fun with this film, unlike F9.
Yeah.
But it was a different character. I mean, a completely different character.
But that's a good thing.
I mean, he's in a freaking different movie. And now I want to see Jason Momoa's Dante and Gore the God Butcher in a movie together. Let's take the best parts of these movies and put them together.
Yeah. Gore the God Butcher.
Momoa, I feel like Momoa read the script and was like, this movie sucks in every way possible. This makes Justice League look like The Godfather. Who gives a crap? I'm just going to go for it. Who cares? And he worked.
Right.
It worked for him.
Yeah, it worked really well. I mean,
other than that, I have no opinion whatsoever.
There was some stuff that with his character that I got a little like, okay, I'm tired of seeing this bit again. The affectation.
Was bizarre. I didn't
kind of really like
the dead body stuff when he was talking to the guys on that was
I think it was just like, hey, how do we make this guy look like a sociopath? Let's put
very much so. Yeah, that was very much what they were trying to do. Like, fear him, he's insane. I mean, and it, for a little bit that kind of does work with that. I mean, you're like, oh wow, this guy really is insane.
I mean,
and he'll do anything.
Yeah. Yes, but that scene was unneeded. We knew that he was insane.
He's very clearly inspired by
Heath
Ledger.
This whole movie was made up of a lot of dumbing down to the audience. Like, we have to show you what's going on. The first 20 minutes was nothing but one line after the other. Like, this is what's happening on the screen right now. This is what's coming up. Hey, audience, you need to know this is what's happening because we can't see it for ourselves. And so, hey, Dante is a freaking sociopath. Let's show that off by him playing with dead bodies. It's just it was insulting to the audience. I mean, the audience that has grown with this for 9 freaking movies. We've watched these films be stupid and bombastic and crazy, and now you're going to come around and start explaining stuff to us. No, that's no.
I would contend 8. Yeah, I don't.
So
for any film,
F 9 and 10, whatever.
Well, for me, 10 is way better. Like, you couldn't get worse than F9.
It should have been, and that's my problem. Is it should have been so much better.
For me, it was. I don't know why.
Yeah, for me, it really felt like I enjoyed myself watching the movie. I mean, I don't know. And it may have been the crowd I was with. It was a smaller crowd, and everybody was enjoying it.
Oh, I had a small crowd too, and they were laughing at the wrong parts.
Mine was laughing at the right parts. Funny enough.
I think that my crowd was pretty in tune with where they were supposed to laugh.
They were laughing at Tyrese and Tej and all that.
Yeah,
my crowd, I think, were acting like Vin Diesel through most of these movies and not emoting at all. I was like, is everybody asleep?
I like how Jacob's not emoting at all during that.
Oh yeah, you were frozen for a second.
Oh, was I? Am I?
No, it's okay. It's because it finally got dark. It finally got dark in Wyoming, so that's what happens.
But so if they make this into 3 films, which I'm hearing they're going to do,
well, they're trying to. Vin certainly wants that to happen.
By the 3rd one, is Dante going to become a good guy and be part of the family? Because that's what happens to all the villains in these movies.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's redeemable.
I don't think he is either.
I mean, I know there are other villains that it's been like, how is that guy redeemable? Especially Jason Statham, who, look, it's forgivable because he's Jason Statham, but...
Right. And now Charlize Theron.
He killed Han, and then he didn't. Anyway.
Whatever her character
He's also got an awesome mom in Helen Mirren.
Yeah, Helen Mirren's his mom. I mean... But yeah, now it seems like Charlize Theron is going to be good, but now she could turn bad again, though. I mean,
she's self-serving. Her character is just self-serving more than anything.
Yeah, she's in it for herself. Yep.
What's her character?
But at the same time, by the second one, she'll be part of the family. She'll be at the table drinking the.
No, I don't think she'll be at the table.
Like that,
I don't think she'll be at the table.
At the final scene, they'll have all one big barbecue, and there'll be like off in the corner. There's kind of a hologram of Brian standing there, with. With
he's a
John
blue
Cena.
glowy.
Yeah, exactly.
Look,
and they're all standing there and looking on, smiling.
I'll take a hologram of Brian at this point. Why is his wife involved in all these missions, and he's just at home taking care of their child and not trying to rescue the family? I mean, good Lord.
This is a good point, Rhett. You can't.
That's very true. And he blew up some really old churches as well.
I know. I know. It's horrible.
Well, I think too that this would be a good way to write Brian out of the series. Have Dante kill Brian off screen in the second one.
Yes.
And honestly, if they did it on the first one, that could fuel this fire and probably make this movie be even more. Then I would almost believe the emoting from Vin Diesel, like they killed Brian, and then because the whole movie's like
they had to CG some tears in.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dave, I made the same. I made the argument that why would Dante not be going after Brian? He was a part of all that too.
He was a part of Fast Five. Yeah, he was a part of the heist.
And like, if you want Jordana Brewster to be involved in it, and like that's your reason for killing off Brian, the audience would get that, and like you can say that like in the after the movie's out, like in your press and stuff. You're like, yeah, look, we wanted Jordana Brewster's character Mia to be more involved, and we didn't see a way to do that with keeping Brian alive.
Right. Well, I mean, he went to kidnap Jordana Brewster's character, or he showed up at her house. He could have easily walked in and said something to her about, oh, Brian. Well, he's made the comment that Brian's dead now, or whatever, and then
that's how it could have opened. It's like a big explosion and being like, oh, Brian's gone.
So is the next one coming out
next year?
Next spring? Okay.
I don't think they've shot it all.
Oh wait, maybe I'm getting that in Mission Impossible mix. Yeah, Mission Impossible's next year, but maybe I know you're right. I don't think they have shot it all.
Surely they're not going to.
They didn't do a congruent shoot.
I hope they do. I'm
so
even though I am saying a lot of negative things about Fast X, I gave it like a 66. Like I just
never want them to end though.
Yeah, I don't want it to end. This is a fun series, and
I'd say about 69, 70. Yeah, for me.
Well, the news today was that Vin says that he wants there to be a bunch of spin-offs, but he can't have spin-offs until he finishes his story. So he wants
that's the correct move, sir.
Yeah, he wants his story to be done. Well, Hobbs and Shaw was kind of a spin-off, but he wasn't really involved.
Yeah, but that's Rock, strong.
That's Rock, which there's got to be another Hobbs and Shaw now that they're both back in the series. I mean, I would think.
Well, I think that's a movie that would pay off for The Rock, because I don't think The Rock's he hasn't made a really good movie in a couple of years now.
He's been
so I
struggling.
think, well, besides
we
Tom
need that
Cruise and Jumanji. I mean,
we need that Jumanji finale.
Yeah. The third Jumanji. Yeah, we need that.
Jumanji.
Yeah.
We need a Skyscraper 2.
Die Hard in a Building. I'm all about that.
China would be for it. Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, they liked that movie. He needs to do something because
I love that. That's the thing. The ending got me. So I don't know why. I hate part of my brain was like, this is so dumb, and it got me. And then the mid-credit scene, it's like I'm in. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, and they didn't have a post-credit. Tooth Fairy 2.
The Gal Gadot showing back up. Like, I laughed out loud, but I was like, yes, this is awesome.
I did too. And they didn't give her anything to say. She just smiled.
That's all that she needs to do. They didn't want to pay her.
My understanding is she was in and out and in and out and in and out of the cut. They didn't know whether or not to keep her in the film.
Oh, interesting. I mean,
I'm glad they did.
Why would you not keep Gal Gadot in your?
They were thinking about saving that reveal for part 2.
Oh, for part 2. Okay.
Gal Gadot is not the greatest actress in the world.
No, she's better than Ana de Armas, though.
She could be, but I think she's good at like this action dumb stuff.
Yes,
and like
Red Notice was not good, man.
Right?
No, it wasn't. But like it was passable, and like she wasn't really like the problem with it.
You're right. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what I can't put my finger on what was. Yeah, Red Notice was rough. I mean, I don't know. I'm not. Do not put that up, Garrison. Don't put Rhett's comment up. No, don't do it. Do not reach for your mouse. I'm gonna give that.
It's one of those. If you're not watching, you missed it.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, there's also only one movie in this whole franchise that I actually dislike, and that's Tokyo Drift. So like, they're mainly like.
Yeah, that one's so inconsequential.
It is, and like they're just like they're not all like none of them are like the greatest movies ever, but like they're fun and
it's a good trilogy.
5 is good. I think 5 is a legitimately good movie.
5, 6, 7, and 8.
5 is when things picked up for me when I was watching.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
4 is actually not bad either. I actually liked 4 quite a bit.
I
can't remember much about. I can't remember.
But I thought, 5, 6, and 7. I think they progressively went down a little bit in quality. By the time we get to 8, it kind of dropped a little bit. But I think 5 is good. I think 6 is good.
For me, 5 and 7 are like at the top.
Yeah, 5 and 7.
I don't know why, but 7 really got
Which one is it that he drives the car through the skyscrapers? Is it 7?
That might be 7.
Or is that a different rock movie?
That's 6 or 7. That's one of the two.
Yeah, a lot of those stunts blend.
I love that one because I remember the skyscraper. That wasn't the most implausible stunt of the movie itself. That actually could happen with the right setup.
Yeah.
So
I think it's 6 because I think that's the one where Gina Carano's in it or whatever.
Ronda Rousey's in that one too. I believe.
She's in that. Ronda Rousey. That's right. Yeah.
I don't think Gina was ever in any of these.
Yeah, she was in Fast 5.
Yep, that's right.
Oh,
or no.
I think she's in 6 because she's a part of the plane stunt.
Yeah. She was part of my review. I said, there's a lot going on in this one. Probably too much. It was nice to see Gina Carano, though.
Okay.
She died.
Well, yeah, you saw it after. Yeah, that was when she was like a nobody, though, when she was in that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
that was
before. She's a
Furious 7. It's when Vin Diesel drives a $3.4 million Lykan Hypersport through not one, but 2 of Abu Dhabi's Eiffel Towers.
Yes.
One of the, and honestly, one of the best movie stunts ever performed on film. It is incredible.
Not only is that realistic, but they do a parachute thing with the cars in that film too.
Yeah,
and that was done realistic too.
Yeah, I feel like they took science for granted a little bit in this one. Dom somehow gained superhuman strength, not only lifting a car but doing it one-handed while holding a gun in the other. That was impressive.
The science went out the window in 9.
Yeah,
I mean, bad.
That's true.
9 was
driving a car out of a plane without a parachute is a little.
And then it lands on top of another car and then rolls away. It's just, Scream has taught us that you can get stabbed a lot without dying. Fast and Furious movies have taught us that cars can drop from high altitudes and still drive just fine. As long as they're Dodge Chargers.
As of 9, you can tumble in your car and then be right side up and then just get out and be like, oh yeah.
Right.
It's fine.
No broken bones.
And if you have a good hook, you can swing all the way around and drive down.
Yes.
No head traumas.
Let me say that was new. Yeah.
David, we brought it up earlier. My least favorite part of this movie was Brie Larson getting shot and it completely debilitating her, even though it was like in her upper shoulder.
Right.
Not around anything that's.
I literally thought she was going to
She also was very tan.
It was so bad.
She was very tan in this as well. Like everybody had lots of tanning.
Necessary.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
There was no reason for her to be in this movie. And I don't know if she lost a bet or the power bill came due and she's like the residuals for Room and Captain Marvel are not
like
here
how
yet.
much could she have gotten paid for it though that it would have been worth it? I don't understand.
She probably got a nice payday.
10 mil? I mean, that much?
I don't know, but the budget's $340, so.
Good grief.
And they didn't spend any of that budget on a writer.
So
she got $1 million for it. She got $1 million.
Oh yeah, no.
So,
no, Rhett, in real life,
yes. We're not talking about real life,
totally.
Rhett. We're talking about Fast and Furious.
Rhett, I don't get that criticism personally.
Yeah, I mean, any of these, yeah.
But look, to me, actually, I kind of respected that she got shot in the shoulder and she was actually going like, oh, and I was like, holy cow, she's like acting like she actually got shot.
She felt pain.
Yeah, unlike everybody else in this film.
Yeah, exactly.
So Vin is getting 20 million. Statham is getting 15 million. Cena is getting 2 million. Tyrese is getting 1. Brie Larson got 1. Momoa got 5 million, and Ludacris got 600 grand.
That 5 million was well spent.
If I'm Ludacris, I'm like, hey, I need to rework my contract out a little bit.
Ludacris did this for $600,000.
600.
I mean, he's not doing anything else.
He's the guy taking a pay cut to keep the team together.
He does. How much did Jordana Brewster?
He's like
get?
Tom Brady, really.
Mm-hmm. One day he'll get a big payday.
Michelle Rodriguez got 2.5, and Jordana got. So
Jordana got more than Ludacris.
She did.
That is
she
insane.
did.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Where are you getting those numbers from? I wonder if that's real.
Fandomwire.com, but I've also seen those salaries in other articles.
I mean, Fandom Wire. Yeah, I mean, that could be. So Larson.
I was looking at moviepoopshoot.com, but I didn't see it.
Moviepoopshoot.
Her role's kind of short, so I guess so.
$1 million.
One kind of crazy little thing here. So Daniela Melchior, who played the sister.
Ratcatcher.
Yes, Ratcatcher. She was also in Guardians 3. Pete
Oh,
Davidson was also in all 3 of these movies.
Gorgeous.
Right.
That chick,
kind of crazy.
that Ratcatcher chick, is gorgeous.
Yes.
I thought she was the most attractive woman in this film over Gal Gadot. I'm putting her over Gal Gadot.
I kind of liked her inclusion in the film, except for the fact that she reminds me that she's another character that we're introducing that's in a family that we've already seen that we never saw, and it was
that
like
we never. Yeah. I mean, it's all about family, man. Though I mean, it's all about family.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
It's all a big triangle of.
I did kind of like that race where he had to choose between the two people.
Yeah.
He made the right call, by the way.
He did make very.
Also, a totally necessary scene, but sure, why not?
I mean, we're seeing the threat that is Dante.
That's right.
I mean, no, it felt like somebody was complaining to Vin Diesel. Weren't these movies about racing at one point? Vin's
yes, it did.
Yeah, right.
It did. And then he went, no. He went, yeah, you're right, and we're not going to do it.
Yeah, they really didn't have a real legitimate race. Yeah, I mean, it was all rigged from the beginning.
I mean, can you like going all the way back to Too Fast, Too Furious? If somebody told you, hey, man, 22 years later, these movies are still going to be around, but they will have gone to space. They will be battling submarines in the Antarctic, and they have nothing to do with racing whatsoever. It's all about God's Eye and Cypher and espionage. What? So next you're going to tell me there's a pandemic coming. So yeah,
that's I think that, like, in all honesty, the best at least hand-to-hand combat scene was that scene with Charlize Theron when she was taking out all those henchmen.
Well, that was a great scene. I thought that was fun. I did.
She is really good at fight choreography. Yes, disabling all their guns. She's really good at fight choreography. I mean,
there's a difference between her and Jordana Brewster. Is I didn't have a problem with her scene.
Yeah.
Jordana Brewster, when she starts taking down some like giant guards, I'm like, what are you doing?
That was ridiculous.
And the fight works too, because had they not fought, they would have left that building probably 45 minutes earlier, and they would have missed the submarine altogether. And so,
we're talking about different fights here.
We're talking about different fights.
Michael was talking about the one where Momoa did this.
Shows up. I'm
talking
like at the very end. He shows up. She did great in that scene. I mean, but also, her and Letty fighting was good too. Yeah. But I mean, I think that first scene was really good.
It was done well. I just hated it so much because it was
her and Letty fighting
and so just
Well, that
was like David said. If they got done sooner, then we wouldn't get to the sub.
Exactly. We had
but that's just not true. The sub was waiting for them. That was her plan the whole time. That's not true. That was literally her plan. That the sub is here.
She knew the sub was there. Yeah.
She's like, "That's your plan," or like, "What's your plan?" She's like, "This is my plan. The nuclear submarine that we stole a few movies ago. Gal Gadot is piloting it."
Wait, but why is Gal Gadot's character affiliated with Cypher in any
Because Cypher probably rescued her from the air.
We don't know
when she fell out.
When she fell out of the plane.
Guys, let them tell their beautiful story.
I mean,
let the story
absolutely what it is.
Let the tapestry be built in the way that it's I really wish we didn't have to wait. If it is going to be
right now is typing into Chat GPT. Okay, how do I make this plot point work? Fast 11.
I can't.
And whatever Chat GPT says, he just does the opposite. Doesn't make sense.
Exactly. Oh man. Well, I don't know how much more we can say. I mean, I think the best part of the film, everybody has to agree that it's Dante. It's Jason Momoa. I mean,
for sure.
Right.
He's hamming it up.
He's hamming it up big time. He seemed like he was having the most fun out of anybody. Cena, sure, because he knew he wasn't going to have to come back. He knew he was finally going to be done with the franchise. He got a hero's moment. I mean,
honestly,
Alan Richardson wasn't bad either. He was kind of fun.
If Dante had been in Fast 5 or 7, that might be one of the best films I've ever seen.
Oh, if he had been the villain in Fast 5 or
I like how they just have the license to retcon characters in the movies that we've seen like 10 years ago. Just randomly like, well, he wasn't around for that. He will be now. And just
I mean, I was okay with the way they set it up. I mean, they had to do
that's fine.
I mean, to keep the franchise going.
Wait, but they showed it to us twice. I like they showed it to us twice. You got Momoa staring out of the hole, and then when the twist happens at the end, we get Rich and walks into the scene.
Yeah, that was funny, and he was like Roth was saying earlier. He had so much self tanner on, like he looked Cuban. He had so much. It was ridiculous amounts of self tanner on. Oh my gosh. Well, Dave, I'm glad you made it, even though it was only for a short while.
Yes. That's okay. Glad I made it as well.
But we will go around the horn. Let's announce real quick next week, because we are, like I said, we're treading water, trying to get to Secret Invasion. And so next week, what we're doing is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse rewatch roundtable. So we're all going to watch that. Dave, you're welcome to, of course.
But Michael, you don't rewatch movies.
I know. Dude, I'm doing this for extra. It's the only way to keep this thing going until we get to Secret Invasion.
At least you're watching it in 4K.
I am going to be watching it in 4K. That'll be a first, because I guess when you watch stuff at the theater, it's not in 4K. So
depends on what if you're at an IMAX, those have 4K projectors.
Ooh, I think I'm sure I saw Dolby. That movie on IMAX. Yeah, I think so. So, anyways, it'll look good at home, though. I mean, it'll be good.
This is going to be my first animated 4K movie.
You know what's funny? I watched The Grinch in 4K, and it is awesome. And I'm talking about the Benedict Cumberbatch one.
Yeah.
It looked really good in 4K. I was like, wow, this looks really good in 4K. Garrison, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me at GRyfin3 on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on GRyfin on Letterboxd. I don't think I left any reviews for the Fast films when I watched them in 2020.
You did not. You need to rectify that.
I've got them all written in this diary over here.
So, okay.
But, well, maybe one day I'll
truncated versions.
I'll edit some of those.
You'll edit some of
not all those comments are going online, but
I understand. Roth, where can people find you, and what's next for Good Day in the Movie podcast?
Roth from Wyoming on Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. I have not been watching that many movies on Letterboxd, but I'm hoping to rectify that a little bit this weekend. Our last episode was on the 2019 French film that was nominated for Best Animated Feature. I Lost My Body. I did not care for it.
Hey, did you watch that movie?
Which one?
I Lost My Body. The French animated film?
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
I thought you had.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I didn't care for it. It wasn't my favorite.
The other guys loved it.
They did. A lot. Like, of course they loved it way too much.
Sage was way into it.
Our next episode, though, is on Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Nice.
Watching it tomorrow night. I'm very excited.
Making Sage watch that makes me so happy. Because I just got the impression he is not a fan of like sci-fi.
Oh, wait till you get to 5. Ooh.
He likes sci-fi, but he likes like the Denis Villeneuve, like Arrival sci-fi type of stuff. He loved 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, he's gonna hate.
You guys should back to back that one with the new Star Trek, the one from 2009 with Chris Pine. Like Star Trek: The Motion Picture, and then the 2009 Star Trek. Even if it's just those two.
Yeah.
So
you're like, man, this is way better paced.
Yeah, the pacing would be way
Star Trek. That trilogy is my Star Trek. I love
the new trilogy. Yeah, it's good.
I love those Star Treks.
Those first two are the only Star Treks I've seen, TV shows included.
Dave, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Absolutely. Find me, of course, my Disney stuff. You can find me at the Magic on $1 on Instagram. I'm desperately trying to get to 1,000 followers. I'm only at 862. We're getting there. Find me on Facebook at Magic on $1 and Disney on $1, my 2 travel pages. And of course, the Main Street Electrical Podcast, which is a podcast that comes out every Thursday. This week, we talk about what's going to happen with the Halcyon and the Star Wars Star Cruiser, kind of our predictions and possibly what could happen with that. But keep listening as well. In June, we're going to start a Patreon and do at least one extra show a month, probably centered around Marvel movies to begin with. And so, yeah, it should be a good time. So
I'm ready for the Patreon. I can't wait to hear Jen watching those. That's going to be fun.
Also, Red, Into Darkness is great. So shut your mouth.
Of course, Red has to chime in. I am at the Michael Nip on Twitter. Same on Letterboxd. We are releasing our Reflections episode tomorrow morning, and it's 2 hours and 20 minutes of awesome.
2 hours and 22 minutes.
2 hours and 22 minutes.
It'd be like awesome 2:10, except for I throw another Casey Kasem on the end because I don't care. So why not?
I'm Casey Kasem. I love those. So yeah, it was fun. It was one that we were like not sure how long it was going to go, but it ended up going really long. Because we didn't watch that many movies between us. It just
we also paid off International Earl.
That's
introduced Nostalgia.
Yes.
And when I was in college, worked at a radio station, I ended up scarfing and getting a couple of CDs from Casey's Top 40. And so I've got several segments of that.
Is that where you're getting them?
That's where I'm getting those from. Those are
Oh, I thought you were just getting them off the internet. Okay.
No, those are actually mine. And I played a lot of this before, like 200 episodes ago, and so I'm just replaying them. And so starting pretty soon, I'm going to start with the countdown, like one song every week, counting them down.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome.
Because why not?
Awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's awesome. I would say thanks for the chat hanging out, but it was really just Rhett. No, I take that. Matt was in there for a second. Who else was in? Brian was in there first, but Brian has not seen any of the. I mean, and apparently Matt, who I thought had seen all of them, Matt hasn't seen any of the Fast and Furious movies. So this was a very niche extra.
It's a chore. It's a chore to get to.
It's a lot of movies. It's a lot of movies. Yeah.
Well, most people think you have to start with one. No, just start with 5.
That's true. You could really.
But they won't understand anything. You won't. It's okay.
Maybe watch the first one and then 5. I don't know. I don't know how you could get by. You can definitely skip Tokyo Drift. I mean, you don't need to watch that.
Yes. You don't want to miss the Cole Hauser villain, though. He's in
2, right?
Yeah.
Maybe go 1, 2, and then 5. Maybe skip like 3 and 4. Nothing really consequential.
No, just watch them all.
4
just
has
watch them all.
Death thing that happens in it.
4 does have a death thing. I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, they're probably on Peacock because they're Universal. So I would think.
I own them physically, physical media.
Physical media forever.
I think you're seeing a reason for supporting physical media.
Now you definitely are with Disney Plus getting rid of. Not that Disney Plus offered Willow on
HBO Max, Disney Plus.
HBO Max
every service is trying to become profitable, and in that race to become profitable, they're going to write off things.
Peacock, some aren't.
So am I going to have to redo a whole new account for Max? I just downloaded the new.
No.
Okay, so I just relog in with my HBO Max.
Yep. Relog in with your HBO, and you're good to go.
I gotta remember my password. All right.
They did do the.
It saves all your lists and everything. So.
Yeah, it saves everything.
Yeah. Discovery Plus now, which is what I had for like $7 a month. So I
cancel that. You can cancel that. Yeah, that's good.
I hate
all right. Well, we will be back next week talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. We're doing a rewatch roundtable, so I think Rhett will probably be back for that one. I'm sure Dr. Earl. Well, I know Dr. Earl will be because I gave him the Blu-ray disc to watch, so he will be watching the Blu-ray disc. And Dave, you're welcome to join us for that one. I think it'll be fun, and of course, preparation for the following weekends across the Spider-Verse, which I am very much looking forward to. So until next week, I hope everybody has a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and watch a lot of TV and movies.
Continue to live your life a quarter mile at a time.
3 podcasts, 15 minutes at a time.